When you're launching your business, worst case scenario, you should be making double of what you're making at your 9 to 5. You work a 9 to 5 that pays you $20 an hour. You don't want to start a business that's paying you $10 an hour. You're completely defeating the purpose of what you're doing. I'm speaking from personal experience. I'm speaking from helping so many people build businesses. The ones that really move the fastest and get the fastest results are the ones who are.
The biggest risk that most entrepreneurs take is trying to build a successful business without funding. But that risk is a reality for 1 out of every 3 entrepreneurs because their personal credit isn't where it needs to be in order for them to access that capital. Now, the truth is you can close the gap between where your business is versus where you want it to be by leveraging business credit. But if your personal credit report is poor, 99% of banks and lenders are going to deny you from doing so. And I should know, because a couple of years ago, I leveraged my personal credit report to get funding from Chase to start my company. And now that very same company, Takeoff Financial, is serving entrepreneurs just like you that are looking to restore their credit to get access to 5 to 6 figures in funding. So if you want to go from risk to reward, click the link above or below this video to schedule your free consultation so that we can restore your credit and put you in position to access capital to build the business of your dreams.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Marvin Francois Show, your number one source for all things business, finance, and investing. And today is a very special day because our guest today is a business growth consultant who has helped his clients generate well over $6 million in total sales. Through his company, systemsacceleration.io, he has serviced coaches, consultants, agency owners, and service providers from all walks of business to go from cash flow fears to multiple 6-figure years. Go from revenue concerns to eliminating customer churn and take their stagnating business and transform it to a powerhouse that very few entrepreneurs are fortunate to witness. And today, he's here to help you as an entrepreneur do more of the same. Ladies and gentlemen, from the beautiful, beautiful city of Columbus, Ohio, I am here with the one, the only, my guy, Mr. Adrian McGee. What's going on, family? How are you?
What's happening, family? What's happening? Look, I got to copy that intro, man. I don't think I heard one like that before. That was spicy.
Let me tell you something. I'm going to tell you like this. Next time you do a podcast interview, they started off. They don't introduce you like that. You get up, you leave. They don't respect you.
Got to step.
You gotta go. You gotta go. Make sure you put that in the prerequisite next time they book you. You understand? Because it's serious business. It's serious business.
Let's go, man. Look,
I'm
happy
brother?
to be here, man. Happy to be here. Appreciate the invite. Your platform is amazing, bro. It's been turning heads for years now at the forefront, man. So it's definitely an honor for me to be here, and I'm excited, man. I know you're gonna pull the best out of me, bro. So I'm happy to be here, man.
Listen, my platform only flourishes the way that it does because I'm fortunate enough to be able to sit down with gentlemen like yourself that are the premier movers and shakers in your respective industries. So for me, I'm grateful just to be able to have you on here. You know, I always try and provide as much value as possible. And I think my superpower is that I understand that I'm not an expert at everything. But if I could sit down with individuals like yourself that are experts in certain fields and have a great conversation where we could provide value on things that I know will help aspiring entrepreneurs and even established entrepreneurs, I would have done my job. And I think we're going to do a pretty good job of that today.
Absolutely. Absolutely, my brother.
Yes, sir. So I'm excited. I know who you are. I know you know who you are, but there may be a few individuals that are tapped in and wrapped into this podcast episode right now that may not be familiar. And we want to make sure we take a second to do just that. So for those who don't know, let the people know who exactly is Adrian McGee.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So what's going on, family? Adrian McGee here from Columbus, Ohio. Columbus, Ohio. Look, it's not just a farmland. Trust me. If you guys can see the background, you can see. So born and raised from Columbus, Ohio, man, business growth consultant. We've been operating for going on 4 years now. And so I'm someone who, to be honest, man, COVID sparked that interest in us, right? So spent a lot of time in corporate. And then essentially when everyone's starting businesses, I realized there were things at my 9 to 5 I could do for other business owners. So tapped into that about almost 4 years ago, been at it ever since, man, ever since. So we're currently at a place, man, where I just got super passionate about helping other small business owners, especially ones that look like us, get a hold of resources that
Mhm.
are similar to what the competition is using, right?
Mhm.
Like a lot of people don't know what a CRM is. They don't know what these different things are that's so necessary for your business. And so I just became super passionate about helping other people do that. And ever since then, man, we've been rocking and rolling. Over 6 million in sales generated for our high ticket clients. We currently service over 200 business owners right now with our software that we use to help them with marketing and sales. So I'm just someone that loves to create. I love to create impact for other people to create impact. That's kind of my mission, man. It's something I'm real passionate about. So that's who I am, man. I'm here to help serve people and help them build the business of their dreams.
Man, I love it and very beautifully said. And once again, what you do is so important because I have a business partner and he has something he says consistently. He's like, yo, entrepreneurship is like a sport, right? And the beautiful
Yeah,
thing about like any sport, there's no great player that doesn't have a coach, that doesn't have someone that he
yeah,
is constantly bringing his game to elevate and get better. Same thing in business. Like if you're running this race by yourself, whatever you're doing on your own pales in comparison if
mhm,
you put your pride aside and got connected with individuals like yourself that are putting together frameworks, putting together resources, giving
mhm.
valuable information that are helping individuals go from $10,000 months to $50,000 months and beyond, right? And I want to
Yeah,
make sure that we go ahead and break that game down for
absolutely.
individuals that are on here as well. Is that all right with you? Can we do that? Can we do that?
Oh, look, I think the people need it, the people ready for it. So I'm here to drop everything, man, because it's so many small gems that people skip. It's the
Yeah.
small things
Yep.
that really prevent most people from building that business that they deserve to create. But man, once we get more people aligned with that, there's generational wealth that's created. You're able to hire people, support other people's families, all that good
Facts.
stuff. So yeah, man, I'm excited for this one. We're gonna kill it.
Let's do it. Let's make it happen. So, once again, you are a business growth specialist. You've worked with entrepreneurs from all different walks of industries. And I want to
Yeah,
break down all the different parts that encompass a business to really give people as much information and as much frameworks as they could possibly take to where whatever business that they're in, they're going to be able
yeah,
to take at least one nugget from this interview, take it and use it to
absolutely.
increase the revenue in their business. Right.
Hmm.
Speaking of revenue, let's go ahead and start off with the sales side of things. Right.
Hmm.
I've consumed a lot of your content, brother. You are Listen, man. I didn't listen, watch a couple of your YouTube videos and went back to my own business and be like, yo, we messing up. We doing bad right now. We're gonna have to step some things up, right?
Appreciate
And
it.
it definitely starts on the sales side. So I want to start there. Talk to me a little bit about how do we as business owners, whether I'm new, aspiring, or even established business owner, create an
Hmm.
irresistible offer for our company?
Yeah, great question. Great question, man. So the thing to think about is something that most people forget is business. Your goal as a business owner is to solve a problem for someone, right? And so the main focus is solving a huge problem for people. And so once you're able to figure that out, then you could package together an offer that makes it irresistible. And so that is the number one thing to do, man, is to have a really good offer that solves a problem for someone. Now, in terms of sales, right? Everyone looks for this secret formula for sales. At the end of the day, it's all about the number of conversations you have. That's
Mm,
what it's all about. When I see most people not be able to launch a business and really get it off the ground, it's because they're not having enough conversations with the people they are trying to serve, right?
mm,
And so the biggest thing is that direct feedback that you get from people from conversation, you end up tweaking and creating something that really solves their problem, especially if you're listening. Now, I'll tell you what is not an irresistible offer.
let's do it.
What is not an irresistible offer is thinking that you're going to give the market what you think they need and not what they actually want or what they
Mm,
believe they need. Because you could even believe that they need it and they might really need it, but if they don't believe they need it, they're not going to buy it,
right.
right? So, Alex Hormozy really changed the game when it comes to irresistible offers. And he had a lot of people making these crazy guarantees and all of this stuff, right? That is
Yeah.
not that is not going to give you the irresistible offer. What's going to get you an irresistible offer is literally solving people's problem and to the point where the benefit of the problem that you're going to solve is going to be more beneficial than the cost that they have to pay in order to get that to happen. And that's
Mhm.
why I love my business. I got the easiest business in terms of being able to show people the value because guess what? If I come to you, Marvin, I'm like, hey, my service is $1,000 is going to make you $10,000. That's
Mhm.
the irresistible offer, right? So by me helping people make money, it's super easy for me to make an offer because people will spend 1,000 to make 5 or 6.
Mhm.
But when you can touch into that emotional side of the offer, that's when you really kill it. When you feel as when people feel as though they have a problem they have to solve right now, and you have that solution, you are going to create an irresistible offer. But you got to get the conversations in. It's a priority.
I love that. So let me unpack that a little bit more, right? Like you said, creating an irresistible offer really just comes down to giving the target audience, your target customer, what they want. Not what you think they need, but what they want, and helping them solve whatever problem they have, helping them get away from some type of pain. If we dive deeper into just the different bells and whistles that make up an offer, I know from my understanding and my experience in business, there are three different ways that we can help someone or a target customer with their problem, right? You
Mm-hmm.
have a do it yourself offer, you
Yeah.
have a done for you offer, and a done with you offer. Could you talk a
Yeah.
little about the difference between the three when we're talking about offer creation and offer structuring?
Yeah. Really good question, man. And honestly, it's a really good place to start, right? Because the way that you solve that problem comes down to the way you deliver it.
Mm-hmm.
So the way I always tell people to start off with done for you. Do it for people because
Mm,
that's going to give you the experience. So I always say come in, provide a service to someone, get the experience, right? Because once you have the experience, you start to develop your own framework. Your way of solving that problem is now yours. You own it. So
facts.
now you become so good at it that now you come to a point where you can offer done with you, right? Because
Mm,
now it's like, hey, I can coach you. Here's a system. And so that's the next part of scaling when you think about it. Should always go from done for you and then go to done with you because now you can service more people. And at times you can actually charge just as much, if not more, because you're showing them the system for them to do it for themselves,
mm-hmm.
but you're doing it with them. So you're giving them a little bit more hands-on support. Now, the final piece is going to be all digital, right? Everyone's going crazy about digital
Yeah.
products right now. And it's the wave. I get it. Digital products, everyone should definitely have digital products, but it takes time to get there, man. Like you can't just come out and just drop a course for something you've never done or serviced anybody for. And we
Mm-hmm.
see that a lot. And that's why people's trust is so broken right now, right? It's so
Facts.
hard. It's so much harder to get people to buy from you online. And the people that you can blame are the people who are selling digital products that's never done what they said they could do.
Right.
So if I'm a new business owner, I want to start off with done for you. Let me get in the mud. Let me actually learn that process because guess what? You're not that good yet. You don't know everything yet. But if you go in and learn this system as you do it for someone, that's when you can scale and do done with you. And then you can drop a course or an ebook or something and sell that. And guess what? You got social proof behind it now, right? You didn't
Mm-hmm.
just go get a white label course and stick your name on it and start selling it. Like you actually did the groundwork. So that's the phases and really the three main type of services you could provide.
I was actually very beautiful. That's the first time I think I've ever heard it broken down in that way. So if we're new business owners, you want to start off with done for you because it allows us to get the reps in, right? You mentioned
Right.
Hormozy. We're both very big fans of what he's done and the impact he's had on the entrepreneur marketplace. That's one of the biggest things that he preaches, right? Which is like,
Right.
it's a volume game. You want to get the reps in. And if you're new, a done for you component is going to be able to give you that social proof. It's going to help
Yep.
you to be able to have more cracks at bat to where you can fine tune your offer, see what
Mm-hmm.
people really want versus what they don't. From there, once you get those reps in, then you now go to the next level, which is done with you, which is more of like a coaching situation
Right.
where you're working with people over a set period of time. And then you go into do DIY, which is more courses and module. Because usually people do it the other way around.
They do. They do.
Usually people is like, all right, I want to start a business. All right, let me go ahead and launch this course. Let me get my ebook.
Yeah.
Let me
Yeah.
get my, you understand? But to your point, it actually does make a lot more sense to go the done for you route because it really, based off the way you just broke it down, it lines everything else up so perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
I love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, that's a good way to think about it, man. You brought up a good point. A lot of people do it the opposite way. And I get it because it seems the easiest too, right?
Fact.
Like, especially with AI now, I could just go and chat GPT and
Yeah.
whip up an ebook in 2 minutes and sell it.
100%. So now let's go a step further. Let's go a step
Yeah.
further because I got one of the best on my pod. Listen, if y'all think I'm asking questions just for y'all, I am, but I got some questions myself, ladies and gentlemen. I got some questions myself.
Let's
So
go.
let's go another step, right? So we have a good frame around how to create an irresistible offer and different types of offers, right? And if we're new entrepreneurs, DFY versus DIY versus DWY, right? One of the
Mhm.
biggest questions I get, and I'm sure you get it as a consultant as well, is, okay, Marv, I have this offer, I have this thing that I want to sell to people, I have this thing that I believe people want. How much do I price it at? Right? Do I
Yeah.
sell my coaching program for $1,000? Do I sell
Mhm.
my mentorship or my service that I'm providing for someone for 500, 300, 10,000, 20? Like, what is the pricing framework that you personally provide to your clients, or even you use within systemsacceleration.io,
Yeah.
that people who are watching this can use around the offers that they're creating?
Yeah, good question, man. And it's gonna sound like it's gonna sound like you sent me this question before the interview. Because this is one of the main questions we get from a lot of people who are starting off. So I
Facts.
promise this is not pre-scripted. but but man, this kind of came from my own experience and just working with so many different entrepreneurs. When you're first starting off pricing your offer, start thinking of the value of your time, right?
Mm,
You don't want to start a business. Let's say you work a 9 to 5 that pays you $20 an hour. You don't want to start a business that's paying you $10 an hour. You're completely defeating the purpose of what you're doing. In
right.
fact, I always tell people that when you're launching your business, worst case scenario, you should be making double of what you're making at your 9 to 5. So that's
Mm,
the value you should put on your time when you're first
mm.
starting off. Because
Wow.
think about it, if you can do something on the side that is paying you double what your 9 to 5 is paying you, you're probably going to be pretty satisfied, right?
1,000%.
So I always want to start off at least doubling the value of my time. So that will be my starting price point. Is I will factor in how much of my time is required to get that person a result. And that's not the best way to price your products in the long term, but it's a really good way to get started because guess what? You're not that good yet to be trying to charge a premium price. And that's where a lot
Facts.
of people mess up at. Now, I'll give you an example. When I started my funnel building business, right? I looked at how long does it take for me to build a sales funnel, which for those who don't know, a sales funnel is basically a simple website that's made to convert people online.
Oh, we gonna get to
Um,
that. Oh, we gonna get to that.
yeah.
I'm here.
All
I'm
right.
here. I'm here.
All right. So not to jump ahead then. So
Right.
we won't jump too far ahead.
Mm,
But I'll tell you this, man, I could build a sales funnel in about 8 to 10 hours.
mm,
And so I was able to start charging people $800, And so when I think about that, that's me making $80 an hour when it comes to the value of my time. I'm happy with that.
mm,
And even though that price point of $800 is really low compared to what I could, especially to what I charge now, it was enough for me to get started, and it was enough for me to feel comfortable to say, hey, I'm only going to charge you this much because we're just getting started. So you're going to get the advantage of getting a much lower price than what it normally would cost. But then I'm also happy because now I'm making double of what my time is worth, if not more. So I always say start off, think about how many hours is going to be required for you to give them a service, double the time of your hourly rate, and go from there. And then guess what? Now you have a baseline for the rest of your life, because now I'm at a point where when I think about the value of my time, it's worth at least minimal, $500 an hour now if I look
mm-hmm,
at the work I do in my business and things like that. So I
mm,
know for me to touch anything, I need to be making more than 500 an hour.
mm-hmm.
And so you'll notice my time went from $80 an hour, and now just 4 years later, it's quadruple. It should be more, but
Right.
I'm a
You're
pretty
getting there.
fair, reasonable person.
Right. Right. Right.
So yeah, that's how I will look at it, man. Hopefully that makes sense. But I just
Perfect.
looking at the value of my time.
I love that. I love that. To unpack that now a little bit more, you talked about how, some people, one of the biggest struggles they have is kind of overvaluing or overestimating
Yeah,
where they are in the marketplace, especially if they're just getting started when it comes to how they price their offers. Diving more into like pricing around offers, I want to talk a little bit about different, I guess I'll call it revenue business models, so to speak,
yeah,
because you have certain people that sell low ticket, then you
hmm
have certain people that sell high ticket, and then you have other individuals, my personal favorite, who use monthly recurring revenue business
yeah,
models, right?
hmm
So what are your stance in terms of, because I've heard certain coaches that say like, hey, if you're starting a business, you should lean more towards high ticket versus, monthly recurring, because with
yeah,
monthly recurring, if you're new, you're probably not as good enough to get people who want to keep paying you on a monthly basis. And some people are
right,
saying, well, if you do high ticket, it's a pros
yeah.
and cons game. Obviously, there's no one size fits all. What side of the coin do you fall on when it comes to the three?
Yeah, yeah, great question. Great question. Now, if you don't know how to provide value to that person yet, to where you probably should, you do need to be one on one, and that references back to what we talked about earlier, right? You need to get the reps in. You need to
Right.
be confident and comfortable in it. So I like charging higher at first, just because it's taking more of my time, right?
Hmm.
Referencing to the time factor,
Right.
and I have to give a little bit more hands-on support. So I would rather start off with a one-on-one type of deal or done for you service to get the reps in, and
Right.
then after some time, then I can scale that model because now I feel comfortable about doing a done with you or do it yourself solution that can come with subscriptions. Now it always depends, right? Like everyone's situation is different. Now, I do love the subscription model now, and I used to not be a big fan of it. I'll
Okay.
be honest. I used to be straight high ticket 3 years ago, and
Hmm.
I can confidently say that. But then Russell Brunson really changed the game. You know, Russell Brunson, the marketing goat, the OG,
Yes, sir.
um, and he dropped that book called The Lynchpin. I wonder
Hmm.
if I have it here. No, I don't. He dropped that book that talked about the need for a subscription model because worst case scenario is you have a pool of customers that are paying you recurring. And
Right.
so I do think it is very important for every business to have some type of subscription model added to their business because guess what? Worst case, if you don't get any new customers,
Yes, sir.
you at least make enough money to cover your expenses, but hopefully be profitable without really doing anything, you
Yeah.
know? And so I definitely believe that. But I think when you're first starting off, you got to get your reps in. You got to confidently be able to give people a result. So start off with the done, do done for you, do one on one, maybe undercharge a little bit at first until you get the reps in. But I always tell people case studies are one of the most important assets of your business. People buy
Mm.
when they trust from you.
Facts.
So imagine if I go and get 5 done for you clients and get 5 deep case studies about the results that I have.
Hmm.
Now I have 5 pieces of social proof that makes it so much easier for me to sell any type of low ticket product, any subscription or anything like that, because the results are here. Here's proof. I provided this service and I successfully got someone results. That's much easier to do doing one-on-one or done for you when I'm first starting off than doing a subscription and I got 100 people and I'm getting nobody results and now I'm getting bad reviews and all that good stuff, right? So that's how I would think of it, man. You got to start off, get the reps in, and then it makes it, your life will be so much easier once you have those case studies though.
To piggyback, that was good. But to piggyback off of one key part that you talked about with, you referenced Russell Brunson. You're not the first. First off, you're not the first person I heard that from. Dion Coopwood, good friend of mine. He actually
Yep.
was at Funnel Hacking Live, and I think Russell Brunson was speaking, and he was pretty much saying similar to what you said. If you don't have a subscription offer for your business, then you don't actually have a business. I think that's what
Yeah.
he said.
Yep.
Funny story about that. So I recently entered a business partnership back in 2022. And
Mm.
coming into it, both me and my business partner had our own separate consulting firms in the credit space. He had
Mm-hmm.
a recurring subscription based model where he would charge people on a monthly basis for the service he was providing. I had one time flat fee. So when we came
Mm.
together, we had to make a decision on if we were going to do subscription versus, one time flat fee. I'm over
Yeah.
here charging 1,000 here, 1,500 there. I'm looking at this little subscription. I'm like, hey, $99 a month. What am I gonna do with
Yeah.
that? Right? I'm over here. I'm scoffing at him. Like, get out my face with this $99 a month. But he had to really sit down and like, yo, you have to understand, like, this is going to give our business the ability to breathe, or us the
Yeah.
ability to breathe during the slow seasons in business that comes. And
Yeah.
he had to really explain it to me. And I was being super hard headed at the time, but I was like, you know what? Let's give it this little rinky dink subscription
Yeah.
model a try. Let's see what happens. Family. What?
It's going. How's it going?
It's game changing because to your
Mm.
point, and as we both know as entrepreneurs, business is an ebb and flow, man.
Oh yeah.
And to go into certain seasons where like, hey man, we probably not gonna bring in as many clients this month as we thought we was gonna bring
Yeah.
in, but you know that you have 200, 250, 300 people paying you X amount of dollars a month to
Yeah.
where y'all can keep the lights on, you can still take care of your own expenses, you're able to take care of payroll and all these other different things, and you're not sweating. What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
So
That's a good way of looking at it, man. And that's, it's game changer. even your thought process, knowing that you
Mhm.
have this much coming in per month. Now I'm okay with paying more money for ads. I'm okay with
Mhm.
investing in a resource to free up my time because I know that this money is at least coming in. It doesn't feel like it's as risky to operate your business when you have that recurring.
And then also to add on to that as well, and this is a higher level conversation. We're not going to get into that right now.
Yeah.
But another thing too, most people, what I learned recently through interviewing someone else was, if you ever decide to sell your business down the line, businesses that have
Yeah.
subscription based offers in their business are much more valuable in the eyes of people that
Mhm.
may be looking to sell your business, because one of the biggest things that investors are looking at is income predictability. Like, how do I know that you made $50,000 this month? You're going to make $50,000 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months from now, right?
Mhm.
So that's another thing too. So for anyone who's watching this,
That's a gem.
subscription is a cheat code. Like,
Yeah.
you hearing it from me, but you're hearing it from the man himself. It's a cheat code, and we'll leave it at that. It's a cheat code. To dive further into it. Okay, cool. So Adrian, you're I'm a new business owner. You've helped me to figure out what an irresistible offer is. You've helped me to understand the different types of offers, how to price my offer, right? The difference between high
Mhm.
ticket versus low ticket versus monthly reoccurring. You said something earlier. You beat me to it. I want to dive into it right now because I have this offer. Offer ain't gonna sell itself. I
Right.
got to get something to move this baby around, right?
Right.
One of the biggest ways and best ways, especially if you're an online business owner, to do so is a sales funnel. So for
Mhm.
those who are watching this who may not be familiar, could you talk a little bit about what a sales funnel is and some of the different types of funnels that we can leverage to get our offer out in the marketplace?
Yeah, good question, man. I'm finding a flow that you're going to. You're really having us go through a whole master class real quick, but I love it. I love
Yeah,
it.
listen, man. I'm not new to this. I'm true to this. I'm not new to this. I'm true to this.
Let's go, man. So sales funnels. Oh man, sales funnel, sales funnel. We hear so much about it, right? And so I'll start off by I want people to understand what a funnel is. Not even just a sales funnel, but every marketing technique is a sales funnel. And the best example I like to give is McDonald's. That's my favorite example. So McDonald's has a dollar menu, right? Remember, we used to go, it's not a dollar anymore for the most part. It's a little bit more expensive,
Yeah, hey,
but
hey.
they used
Yeah.
to have the dollar menu. And,
Mm-hmm.
you used to get a double cheeseburger for $1. And so the whole purpose of them serving that food for so cheap wasn't really to make money. It was to get traffic. So that way people can come
Mm-hmm.
in, they buy something for $1. But then when you get there, you're like, I think I want a drink, or
Mm-hmm.
what, that combo looks a little bit better than that dollar menu. Let's go with that one this time. And so that's one of the easiest examples to think of is they come through, they get you through the door, and then once you come in, then you end up buying more stuff, right? Another good example is oil change places. I love using this example. You remember the last time you went to get an oil change and you got a coupon that made it like 30 to 40
Yep.
bucks? And then you go there and that coupon's always available, by the way. It
Mm-hmm.
doesn't, they make it seem like it's expiring, but it's not. But you come in, you get that coupon, then when you get there, they're under the hood of your car, doing what they do. But then they're like, hey, you need all these other things added. Like you need some fluid changed or something like that. So that is where they're making their money. They're not making money from the oil change. In fact, they might be even losing money on the oil change for you to come
Mm.
get your oil change. But because the small percentage of people that buy more, that's where they make their money. So
Right.
I always say, think of that when it comes to online, marketing in general, right? Your responsibility is to build a relationship with someone. You want to just get them through the door, because once you have them through the door, now you can genuinely nurture them and build a relationship with them, and they're going to buy more from you in the future. And
Mm-hmm.
so a sales funnel is exactly that. How do we take people from who are online just scrolling on social media? How do we get them to give us their contact information so
Mm-hmm.
that way I could build a relationship with them so they can buy from me?
Mm-hmm.
So a sales funnel is literally just a process of taking someone from being someone who just discovered who you are to someone who becomes a lead because they gave you their contact information, to someone that is making a decision to potentially buy from you, and then they buy from you, right? So it's taking people through a journey
Mm-hmm.
of basically discovering who you are to pulling out their credit card and buying from you. That's all it is. Now, the most popular type of sales funnel that we think about is also going to be the landing pages, right? You know, when we
Mhm.
go in, we buy a digital product. I'm sure everyone's watching this has bought a digital product for $4 or $5, maybe
Right.
$7.
Right.
And then as soon as you go to the next screen, they're like, hey, you want to buy this extra course, this mini course for 97, 297.
Mhm.
Again, there's a certain amount of people who's choosing to buy that because you came through the door. And so that's what all a sales funnel is taking people through that journey in an automated way, right? How can
Mm.
we automate that process for someone to come in and buy from us without us doing anything? And so that's when we use sales funnels, especially online, to attract and close clients for us.
Listen, if you're an entrepreneur struggling to get funding because of your bad credit, then this video is for you. You see, I understand that when banks deny businesses for funding, they're not just denying businesses the capital they need, but they're also denying business owners the resources that they need to build the business of their dreams. And as a business owner, I've seen this happen over and over and over and over again, but I want you to know that there's a solution. Because here at Takeoff Financial, we've helped countless entrepreneurs just like you go from having poor personal credit and not being able to access funding to having perfect personal credit that they were able to leverage to access 5 to 6 figures in funding, and we want you to be the next one. So click the link above or below this video to secure your free consultation, and we'll see you on the other side of success, family.
So now that was very, very, very great way of breaking that down. To take that a step further, my next question for you, if that's the case, would be, okay, we understand the psychology of a sales funnel and how it
Mm-hmm.
helps us to turn eyeballs into dollar signs, right? For lack of a better
Right.
term.
Yep.
If I have a sales funnel, or if I'm a newer entrepreneur, does it make more sense for me to, if I have an offer and I want to get my offer in front of more people, I want to sell my offer, I have a
Mm-hmm.
sales funnel, but then also we know about people who have sales teams, right?
Yeah.
So people have setters and closers and outbound teams that are calling around and cold DMing people to try and sell.
Mm-hmm.
Do sales funnel, if I can, a sales funnel work hand in hand with a sales team, or should I look to lean towards one and not the other, or where
Yeah.
do you stand when it comes to that?
Yeah, good question. So, the sales team closing deals is also a part of the sales funnel because the sales funnel is the full journey, right? So, some products you can get off from selling it directly. You can sell some digital products for 797, even at a higher ticket directly to someone without them having a conversation with you. But
Mhm.
what we found is if you are selling something for more than, I want to say $1,000, if you have $1,000 product or more, you likely need to get on a sales call with them, or you need to give them like a webinar or some type of long training, because you got to build trust with someone for them to spend $1,000, right?
Fact.
The fastest way is the phone call. I prefer to use a phone call when I'm first starting off because, again, you don't know that person's problem enough. You're just starting off. Do some done for you, figure out what their real problem is, really be able to speak to it, and then you could potentially go to like a webinar type of format where you could sell directly there. But the sales team is definitely something that's valuable. And you as a CEO, when you're first starting off, the last thing that you want to delegate is sales. I think I see too many CEOs make that problem as well, because if you can't sell your product, then someone else probably isn't going to be able to either.
Come on now.
Right, because you got the CEO advantage. You own a business. Some people are going to buy from you just because you're the owner and they want to support you,
Yes, sir.
you know. So when you first start off, new entrepreneur, take those phone calls. I'm telling you, after you get 50 phone calls in for your business, I guarantee you're going to be able to scale to 10K per month easily if you haven't already hit it from the 50 sales calls,
Right.
because you getting that type of market research, really talking to someone and solving their problems is going to make you so much better. So start off with sales calls. When you become really good, and if you're doing coaching or whatever, even credit repair, any type of service, you can do webinars and close people directly. But when you're first starting off, you want to have those conversations. And now, even with my higher ticket clients, what we're noticing is about $2,000 to $3,000. Anything over that, you really need to have sales calls if it's higher ticket.
Mm-hmm.
But things that are lower ticket, you can just have a quick phone call with someone and close things if it's, $200 or $300, right? But higher ticket, that's a different ball game, and it requires a different type of beast too. I'll be honest.
Hey,
You know,
Hey,
selling someone a $3,000 product isn't the
hey.
easiest thing.
Mm. That might be. I don't even know if I'll. We go that unpacking that in and of itself is a part two conversation. I'm not even gonna go down that road, bro. Because when we talk about the psychology of sales, man, let me tell you something. I done had
It's
some
a
lumps,
beast.
bumps, and bruises trying to move some high tickets. I ain't gonna get into no specifics, but I had some lumps, bumps, and
You got to
bruises.
be comfortable giving your heart broke, right?
Yeah, very true. Very, very true. But one thing that I love that you said, and I think it's important too, I fell victim to this, and I know a lot of other new entrepreneurs fall victim to this as well. You talked about like, hey, when you're learning your sales process, you got to get your hands in the mud before you
Yeah.
go out and delegate and hire people. And I think that's not something a lot of people want to hear because, especially in the day and age of social media we live in, right
Hmm.
now it's outsource city, right? Get
Yeah.
AI to do this, hire this person to do that, delegate and automate. And it's like, those are points of leverage that you are going to at some point in time incorporate in business because you're probably not going to take the sales calls forever. But
Right.
to your point, when you're especially when you're in the earlier stages, you should you should be excited to get in the mud and get in the
Good.
trenches because
Yeah.
otherwise you're gonna hire somebody, y'all both gonna be looking at each other not really knowing what to do because you've never taken the sales calls. And if I know you ain't taking the sales calls, you hire me to do the sales calls, how you gonna coach me on something you ain't never did? No, 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 no.
Right.
No,
Right.
no, no.
I don't even have a blueprint to follow because you haven't done it. But you know what's funny, Marv, is that's the case not just with sales. That's like for every part of the business. I see so
Facts.
many people hire, and then what makes it worse is they hire someone from the Philippines whose English isn't even the first language, and you're trying to get them to come in and take over a process, and you haven't documented it. You
Hmm.
haven't really, give them the proper instructions, and you wonder why it's not working.
Yeah.
So it's huge, but sales calls again, like even personally, right? I'm speaking from personal experience. I'm speaking from helping so many people build businesses. The ones that really move the fastest and get the fastest results are the ones who are having the most conversations with their ideal prospect.
Right.
100%.
1,000%, 1,000%. Okay, this is getting good. Adrian, we not even a third of the way through. You
Oh
you
man,
you 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 might have you just gave away somebody's $5,000 mentorship. Off this conversation alone. I just want you to know that, brother. You
that's dope, man. That's
let
the go. That's the go.
listen. We just talked about sales. We didn't even talk about my favorite space in business. But I think this is a great time for us to segue into that because we gave them a lot of
Yeah.
game when we talk about the sales side, right? But
Hmm.
once again, we need somebody to sell to. We need some marketing. We need some
Yeah.
eyeballs. We need some leads.
Yeah.
We need some attention, right? Let's talk a little bit about that. So I've interviewed another business growth consultant a couple months back. Gentlemen, you're probably familiar with my guy Marcus Y. Rozier. Very
Oh
dope
yeah.
dude. Very
Oh
very
yeah.
dope dude. Brilliant mind, great speaker. He had a really great quote that I loved, and I think is a great place to start this part of the conversation. And he said, "When marketing is done correctly, selling is unnecessary." And I love that, right?
Yeah.
And then he basically just talked about how marketing is messaging. So when we
Hmm.
talk about marketing being messaging and understanding the importance of marketing, we want to make sure that we're crystal clear about not only what we're selling, which is sales, but who we're trying to sell to. And I know we talked a little bit about it earlier on, but
Hmm.
talk to me a little bit about the conversations and the coaching you provide to your clients when it comes to identifying our target avatar, our target audience. What are some of the different variables that goes into this is my ideal customer, this is my target audience that
Yeah.
you're coaching a lot of your clients on?
Yeah, and honestly, man, this is a really good question because this is honestly one of the biggest things that stop people from moving forward is not being able to identify who to help.
Right.
And when you're first starting off, I love the conversation of it being on people that you're just now that are starting off, because even if you are already started and you feel as though it isn't right, you can always run this play as well, right? To kind of restart. The thing is, you should always start off and just kind of just get experience when you first start off, right? And what I love doing is leveraging my personal network. At the end of the day, where we want to start off is we want to get experience. We want to get our feet wet. And so a lot of people get hung up on identifying a perfect niche when they're first starting off. But your niche is something that you actually discover through time. The person that
Hmm.
you're going to really help, because what you want to do is once you service someone one time and you realize you could really get them results, you want to package that and kind of create your own framework so you could rinse and repeat it over and over and over again. So it's really important to niche down through time is really important, and you can always change your niche too. I think a lot
Hmm.
of people forget you could change your niche
Yep.
once you get started. So what I like doing is really starting off with the person I can resonate with the most, right? And so if I can relate to someone's experience based on my own experience, that's oftentimes the person that I can help the most because I get it, I understand them. And where a lot of people might make a mistake is when they first start off, they just start trying to target everyone. Like literally,
Right.
their verbiage is just like, small business owners. We help small business owners. I will never run a marketing campaign that says, if you're a small business owner, I want to help you. You'll
Right.
never see me do that.
Right.
And the reason for that is because there's so much noise in the market. Like we talk about messaging, like Marcus is a genius. Like I listen to
Yeah.
all his content, and you have to really give messaging that's specific because it's going to resonate with the ideal prospect a lot more than you being general.
Right.
So if I say, hey, think about this, Marv. If I say, small business owner, I want to help you get 5 clients in a week, versus me saying, credit repair companies, I'm going to help you
Mhm.
get 5 clients per week. Which one will resonate more with you if you're if you do credit repair?
The latter. Yeah. The latter.
You know, so I always say really niche down with the person you can resonate with. If you wanted to start a business if you wanted to help if you want to start a funnel building business, a marketing company, because you love marketing, you created one of the best platforms I've seen, in general. So you get marketing, right?
You said it, not me. I
you know.
appreciate it.
So imagine you niching down and saying, hey, if you own a credit repair company, I want to show you how to leverage YouTube and podcasts to get clients.
Right.
Think about how beautiful that offer sounds if you're a credit repair company. Think
Mhm.
about how easy it is for you to provide that service and speak to their problems because you've been in their shoes before and not
Yeah.
being able to get clients. But now you know what it's like now that you are getting clients from using this new outlet that most people in the industry aren't even using.
Right.
you know so that's the way to think about it. When you niche down, your life is going to be so much easier. And if people really figure out, I want to help this one person, we live in such an abundant world that you will never run out of people. Like
Yeah.
you got to remember that too. It's
Yeah.
so I could literally say I am targeting credit repair companies located in Columbus, Ohio. I have enough people here to build a 7-figure business
Come on
just in
now.
Columbus.
Come on.
So we
Yeah.
got in this down. It's going to make our life so much easier at the end of the day.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. We in my wheelhouse now. So y'all know
Yeah.
I got some questions and we just getting started. This is good. This is good. Okay. Okay. So watch this, right? We have a frame now on how to identify our target audience. Right. And to your point, that's one of the biggest hurdles that especially newer entrepreneurs struggle
Yeah.
and run into. Another one that I'm sure probably is, I don't know if you run into it a lot more than people who struggle finding a target audience. This is something I definitely see in my private community. People that struggle with, like, we understand that we need a market, we understand that we need to get eyeballs, and we know one of the best ways to do that, especially organically, is content creation,
Yeah.
which a lot of people struggle with. People don't want to get in front of the camera. If they do get in front of the camera, they feel like they don't know what to say. They're talking people
Yeah.
people struggling to script content, and all right, well, how many reels do I post? YouTube? Am I on TikTok? People are just like, they're asking a million and one questions to where they're not able to take that step to start
Yeah.
creating content that's ultimately going to get them the eyeballs and need to even give their offer a chance at getting sold.
Right.
I want to know, when you're, once again, into whether it's for what you're doing in systems acceleration or just how you're coaching and helping your clients, what is, even if it's just one, a content creation framework that someone who's watching this can take and implement to start generating eyeballs for their business?
Yeah. Great question, man. Great question. Content is actually a really big issue because it generates so much traffic for businesses. And so a lot of people want to be able to figure out ways to generate traffic, and organic content is one of the favorite because it doesn't cost any money,
Right.
right? Like you don't have to pay for ads and you can meet people randomly online from content. So the value in content is literally, it's hard to even explain. Like the value is unlimited, you
Mm-hmm.
know? And so the way that I always, got better with content is just literally, I don't want to say copy and paste, but literally being inspired from your competition
Right.
because they've already done the hard work for you, you
Facts.
know? And so rather you're copying someone who has a faceless brand or they have a brand as their personal brand, or if it's a faceless brand. Either way, the organic content is very entertaining, and it's something that's already been done before.
Mm-hmm.
So literally, when I work with all of my top clients and they're really, really good at creating content, no lie, 60% of their content is repurposed content. And I'm just, that's a high level number, but they are literally finding other content that went viral and just duplicating it with their own flavor,
Right.
and that's inspiring them enough to create the content.
Right.
Now, I'm a little different with content because I don't really depend on organic content at all. I just started really going harder with organic content,
Mm-hmm.
for reasons I'll explain, because I use paid traffic. I love
Mm-hmm.
paying. I'm not really big on content. I've gotten better at it through time, right? I'll just say that. And man, I'll tell you, I used to literally just spend a certain amount. I pay Facebook or Instagram, put my content in front of my ideal client,
Mm-hmm.
and that will generate the traffic for people to go through my sales funnel, like what we talked about.
Mm-hmm.
But now things have changed a little bit because people don't trust as much as they used to.
Yes, sir.
So you can't just run ads before to someone that's never seen your content before and they just buy from you instantly. Like, it doesn't
Right.
work like that anymore. And so now it's really important for you to have organic content that educates and nurtures people on top of your ads.
Mm-hmm.
So now when people click on your ad, they might not buy right now, but then they follow you, and then your organic content is speaking to them so much, then they end up buying from you. That happens so many times. So
Mm-hmm.
now where we are today, you have to be good at organic content. If you don't want to use your personal brand, maybe you're working your 9 to 5 and you can't put your face out there, the gem that you can do is creating what we call theme pages. Right? So create a page that is made for a specific topic that is literally full of repurposed content. Just find other viral content, redo it. Give them their credit though. Don't take their credit. Make sure you
Mm-hmm.
tag them and give them credit. But literally just create a page with viral content that follows that. That's the best way to create a faceless brand. Now I'll give you another way to create faceless brands if you don't want to create organic content that a lot of people don't think of. Are you familiar with UGC content?
User generated content.
Yep.
Okay.
100%. Yep. So what you can do, no matter what your brand is, you can pay these people who are kind of like actresses, right? They're like social media actors or actresses, and you can pay them to kind of record videos and stuff for you. So what a lot of people will do for ads, because think about big corporations, right? They're not finding a CEO to create content,
Right.
right? They're finding these UGC creators that you can basically pay, and then you can use them to create your content, especially for paid ads and things like that. So there's no excuse. I'm not a big fan of the AI generated characters.
Yeah.
I wouldn't go that way yet,
Mm-hmm.
but if you really want a cheat code, I would definitely just use repurposed viral content, because the authority that it adds to your page when you know what you're talking about,
Mm-hmm.
it makes your life so much easier. And like Marcus said, right? Good marketing makes it so easy for the sales team, because if you market your message the right way and you really show you can solve a problem for someone, they should know that before they get on a call with the sales team. So now the sales team is a layup, it's a slam dunk now, because you did your job by marketing your business the right way with the right messaging for a specific person. That's the big thing, for a specific person.
I love that. I want to unpack that a little bit more with a pretty interesting story. So it's funny that you say that for you were never really a content guy, you were always an ad guy. I was the other way around. So I was never an ads guy. I loved organic because I've just been creating content for so long that it's like second nature to me, and I've always been good at it, right? So here's the blessing and the curse in that. When I started my credit consultation company, and I started creating organic content, my organic content took off. Like my first couple of videos was doing hundreds of thousands of views, like back to back to back to back to back. To where now I'm plugging my company at the end of the videos, calendar flooded with leads from top to bottom. Not only is the calendar flooded to the point that you just made, at the time, because I was new to business, I didn't really know how to run a sales team or train a sales team. So my sales team was not that great. They really know how to sell because I didn't know how to teach them how to sell. Right.
Yeah.
So, but I would listen to the recordings of the calls, and people are literally just buying because it's like, yeah, the guy on YouTube with the mustache who talks about
Right.
credit. Yeah, just sign me up. Like, I don't all the stuff you talking about, just sign me up. Right. Because I provided so much value through my
Yeah.
organic that it's like, it wasn't even a sales call. It was really just an onboarding call. Like, people
Right.
would literally
Right.
call to get onboarded.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Now that's the pro of organic. Now here's where it got interesting, right? Now fast forward, I'm riding this wave of organic. Life is good, everything is incredible. I'm like, I'm anti ads. I'm like, bro, hey, Facebook, what? YouTube is over here generating my clients for free. I'm gonna just upload a YouTube video, pack the counter, keep it
Yep.
going. But once again, like anything else in business, ebbs and flows. So I'm riding
Right.
this flow, then the ebb come. Ebb here. So now I'm still posting content.
Yeah.
Calendar is not doing what it was doing once upon a time. I'm like, all right,
Yeah.
something's going on, right? And in that moment, I learned that, while content can be used to generate leads, content technically isn't a true acquisition. It is, but it isn't as consistent and as reliable and as
Right.
predictable as the acquisition method as what you talked about, which is paid ads. Now
Yeah.
I'm starting to incorporate paid ads, and to your point, they really work hand in hand with each other, right?
They
Because when
do.
you're creating organic content now, the average prospect that's watching your ad, they're probably going to do like 2 or 3 Googles on you before they even sign up for a call.
Yep.
So now they're looking at your Instagram, they're looking at your YouTube, they're looking at your landing page and all these other different things. And if you ain't got nothing on there, you probably missed out on a ideal prospect because you're not creating content consistently. So just wanted
Yep.
to quickly share that. But now I want to talk a little bit about the ads too, because like I said,
Yeah.
this is a space that you have more experience in than I do. I'm starting to really venture into it. Talk to me about ads, because like myself, I'm sure there are people watching this right now who were where I was a couple years ago, and they're anti ads.
Yeah.
Ads don't work. I've been paying Facebook all this money. I ain't getting no leads. The leads suck.
Yep.
Ads is
Yep.
garbage. Yeah, I'm gonna just go ahead and make some TikToks, and I'm gonna get my clients that way. What has your experience been when it's come to then incorporating paid advertising into your client acquisition process for your
Yeah.
business, and how you're teaching your clients to do the same?
Yeah. Yeah. Man, shout out to you, because you got the YouTube game on lock. And
Thank
the
you.
YouTube game, it puts you in a different space, Like I really got a little jealous over here when you was like, yeah, man, people will go on my YouTube and they come on a sales call and they're like, oh, I watched the YouTube, I'm good.
Yeah, literally, bro. Crazy.
Yeah. So man, I love that you already killed the game with the YouTube. And I'm a reference a line I got. His name is Ravi Abdullah. He talks about how the person that buys from you needs to consume about 7 hours of content on average before they buy from you.
Wow.
And so imagine if you got all these YouTube videos and people are just scrolling on YouTube watching you, talk about whatever, and you're nurturing them just through that way. It really changes the game for you. And so we actually changed our model based on that. So to answer your question, we changed our model to what we do is we actually leverage organic content, and we just basically add gasoline to the fire with paid ads.
Yep.
Before, we used to be able just to create ads and just say, hey, if you need to boost your credit score to 700 plus, book a call. Let's get on a call, and it will work. But now what we realize is you got to use different methods that really nurture and engage with those people, and then they come by from you instead. Another thing with paid ads that really make it really tough is, if you notice this, when you go on Instagram, every 3 or 4 posts that you see is a paid ad.
Right.
So guess what? People are tired of that. They're like, oh
Right.
my God, all I see is paid ads. What we found is when you leverage organic content for paid ads, it kind of fits into the feed a little bit more natural. So people will stop, scroll on it. And guess what? The platforms are going to reward you for that, because they're like, oh, not only is this good paid content, but we're also going to let it push organically too, because the engagement is so good on it. So the way that we run it now is we literally use organic content and we test with that. How do people react to it if it's organic? And if they react well to it, then they're probably going to react well to it if it's for paid as well. And so that's what we like doing. We like testing things that way. I always say go both, but at the end of the day, business is business.
Yep.
And so what it comes down to is, how can you spend a certain amount of money and make a certain amount back? That's what the whole world of wealth revolves around.
Right.
Because it's the same with the stock market. If I put $100 in a stock, how much am I going to get back? If I spend $100 in paid ads, how much am I going to get back? If I invest in a real estate property, how much am I going to get back? That's how we think of our business as well. And that's why I love paid ads, because I can start to say, hey, if I spend $10,000 on ads this month, I'm going to make $40,000 to $50,000 back.
Mm-hmm.
And now if I want to make 100,000, now I need to spend 20,000. I need to double my ad spend.
Mm-hmm.
And people will be like, oh, it can't be that simple. Like, it literally is. Like, once you get your numbers down and you could literally build a machine that you can feed with money, and it
Mhm.
makes you more money on the back end, now you have an asset, right? You went from having a business or a hobby to having an asset. And so that's why you notice a lot of big companies, they use, even if they're not using Facebook or Instagram ads, they're using some type of paid system to get more eyes on their product or service.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing. How do we spend this much on a campaign and make this much back? Why does Nike pay LeBron so much money? Why does Under Armour pay Steph Curry so much money? Because the attention that they get, they have figured out, if I pay Steph Curry millions of dollars,
Mm-hmm.
we're going to make millions of dollars back.
Facts.
Because of our investment at that. So that's how we think of paid ads as well. But the game has changed. The game has changed. It's so much harder, especially, during COVID, when everyone was at home. It was so much easier to start a business and launch it. A lot of those people are struggling now. That's just the reality of it, because things have normalized.
Yep.
And so that's why you need to master the art of paid ads, because it doesn't matter what the social media algorithm has going on.
Mm-hmm.
If you're paying Facebook, they are happy, right?
Yeah.
Facebook wants you to make money, because guess what? If you're making money from Facebook ads, you're going to spend more money on Facebook ads.
That's it.
So that's what we got to think about, man. This stuff is a business. At the end of the day, things are a business. And for you to build a business, you are literally building your own asset that you could spend a certain amount and make a certain amount back. That's what it's all about.
38%. That's the amount of entrepreneurs that are struggling to get their business funded because their personal credit isn't where it needs to be. Now, you can look into alternatives like corporate credit cards and vendor accounts, but the truth is, the easiest way to get access to 5 to 6 figures in funding is to have good personal credit. As an entrepreneur, the stress of trying to build a successful business is already enough as is. So why work harder than you need to when you can simplify the funding process by getting your credit restored? My company, Takeoff Financial, has served hundreds of entrepreneurs just like you by helping them avoid the pain of getting denied for business funding by restoring their personal credit, and we want you to be the next one. So click the link above or below this video to secure your free consultation, and let's put you in position to get you funding that your business needs.
That's it. I love it. I love it. Okay. All right. So watch this. We talk sales. Everybody let them make some money, so we got to talk sales. We talk marketing. Need eyeballs, no dollars, right?
Yeah.
As we start to get towards the latter half of this sit down, and we, ladies and gentlemen, I'm saying it here now, we might have to do a part 2. I'm just going ahead and putting it out here, because I'm looking at my line. I got questions on here. I don't even have the time to ask. That's how much value is being provided on here. We might have to do a part 2. That's a separate conversation. We talk sales, we talk marketing. I want to talk about one of the more unsexy side of business that is also just as important as the first two, because without it, we gonna have some pretty unhappy customers, and that's operations, right? I want to talk a little bit about operations. Now, watch this. Like I said, I've been watching you like a hawk, brother. I'm gonna follow you for some time now. One of the things you talk about a lot, especially on the operations side, is how you have been able to leverage virtual assistants for a lot of the fulfillment that you're doing on the back end for the offers and for just the business that you've built in systemacceleration.io. Talk a little bit about how, if I'm listening to this, I could go about leveraging VAs and incorporating them into my business to handle the operations and the fulfillment side of whatever company it is that I have.
Yeah, good question. The VAs are a game changer. Like, before we even jump into the VAs thing, and Marv, because you have your own VAs, so
yes,
you
I
already
do.
know.
Yes, I do.
And guess what? I didn't even know that. I just assumed it and was just so confident that I just knew you have VAs already.
Have to. Game changer, bro.
Yeah. And so the virtual assistants, for those of you who might not know, when we say a VA, we're referencing to outsourcing work to someone overseas. In most cases, there's
Mhm.
obviously US based virtual assistants, but for the most part, we're talking about people who are from the Philippines. They can be from other countries as well, but one of the most popular are from the Philippines.
Right.
So if you call Verizon right now, I guarantee you're going to talk to someone from the Philippines.
Yep.
And so why is Verizon having you talk to someone whose first language isn't English? And to be honest with you, it's 100% for cost. It is more efficient to pay someone in another country where you can pay $3, $4, $5 per hour versus someone in the US where you have to pay triple that to get the same type of service.
Right.
So that's what we talk about when we talk about virtual assistants. Now, I want us to shift our mindset and think of us as a CEO. And again, this isn't the sexy stuff. This is the stuff no one wants to talk about.
Yep.
We always talk about systems. How do we systemize our business so that way it can operate without us? And so at the beginning of this, we talked about the value of our time, right? Again, value, your time is the most important asset as the CEO of the business. There's nothing else that's more important
at all.
And I can guarantee it. And so the thing that keeps a lot of small business owners and aspiring entrepreneurs from being able to launch and grow a successful business is because they're spending their time doing a lot of things they have no business doing.
Right.
And so that's why I say when you launch, you need to realize the value of your time, because we're going to take it a little bit further. If I'm making $20 per hour at my 9 to 5 and I value at my time at double, which is $40 per hour, when I start a business, I need to make double. Now you have to think of it like this. Anytime you are spending time as a CEO of the business, doing things that you can delegate to someone that's worth $3 to $5 per hour, you are killing the value of your business, because guess what? You're losing money because your time is worth $40 per hour. Yep. You could hire someone for $4 per hour, but you're choosing to just keep doing the things that aren't that important.
Right.
And so we got to shift our mindset to think of the value of our time. And so when we think about us being able to get things done in our business for $3 to $4 per hour, and I can go personally go make a certain amount of money, we're talking about that factor again, where we spend a certain amount of money to make a certain amount back. Same thing applies for a virtual assistant, right? If I free up my time and I pay $500 a month to free up all this time now for my business to operate without me, now I can go make an extra $4,000, $5,000 because my time is free. So that's what it's all about on the operation side. Now, let's take it a little further, because if it was as simple as going to hire someone for $4 or $5 per hour, we would all be rich right now. Right? If it was that easy.
Yeah.
What we got to do is we have to set up systems for our business, and what we call this is standard operating procedures, is what we call it, SOPs.
Yes, sir.
We're getting into the real non-sexy stuff, right?
Yeah,
but trust
me, they need this. They need this.
You need it. So standard operating procedures is the step-by-step process for how you do something in your business. So imagine if you hire a virtual assistant to come in. If I'm spending all my time, let's say, Marv, you have the podcast, and let's say you are going in and you are spending your time to go in and edit the podcast before you post it yourself. Now, that might take you 5 to 6 hours to do it and do an episode, to edit it. Now you're spending time doing something that you could pay a virtual assistant for, right? And you could free up your time and do things like go get bigger guests. You can do things like create more content. You can go get sponsorship deals. You can do way more important things. But before you hand off your editing, you have to document the way you want it to be done, so that way that person can do it the right way. And that's the part that most people are not willing to do. And it's when I tell you how simple it is, all you need is this. All you need is this pen right here. And then you just need some paper. You can even use sticky notes, right? You can use these two things, write down exactly what you want done step by step. And if you hand that over to someone, you're going to make your life so much easier for them to take the task over. Yep. So that's what it's all about when it comes to operations and being able to grow a business that can operate without you. It comes down to you documenting your processes and handing it off to someone so you can focus on the things that are more important in the business. That's what it's all about.
Listen, man. Adrian McGee. I see you.
Man, I was trying not to overcomplicate it, but
let me tell you something. You know, someone going to DM me after this, like, why you let that brother on here? He gave away half the stuff I talk about in my mentorship. You know that's going to happen.
Oh, come on, let's go.
I'm
Let's
just telling
go.
you what they're going to tell me. Listen, man, this has been one. This was great for me because I love talking business, and like I said, we're crunched for time. So unfortunately, I have like a bunch of other questions I want to ask about marketing,
Yeah,
about operations, about sales. We may have to do a part two. I'm gonna let the
I'm
people
down.
decide.
Look, I'm gonna have to come to you for this one though. We got to do this in person.
Listen, we're gonna have to, next one we're gonna have to do in person. We're gonna have to do a full blown just business breakdown. You
Oh
understand?
yeah.
Really giving people the value that they need because this was incredible. You know, once again, for us to be able to literally show if you're a new business owner, you watch this, I'm very confident in saying we helped you solve at least one of the biggest problems that you're
Oh
dealing with in
yeah.
your business easily.
Oh
Easily,
yeah.
easily, easily. And I'm extremely excited for the next time that we sit down. But my brother, for this sit down that we did here, thank you for your time, man. Because
Absolutely.
this was refreshing for me, and I know it was refreshing for my audience. I know we have to start to close things out. Before we do, let the people know where they can find you, man, and how they can get connected with
Yeah.
you.
Absolutely, absolutely, man. And man, I know we got so much more to unpack. There's like so much more to bring to
So
the
much more.
table, but
So much more.
we
So
gonna
much
make
more.
it. We gonna make it happen. But
Yeah.
yeah, you can find me. Main place is gonna be Instagram at the grind season. So that's spelled out one word, the grind season, right? Just
Mhm.
spelled out. That's also going to be the YouTube channel as well. So those are going to be the main places to get the content. We've been working on YouTube. I've been inspired by Marv though. I'm gonna say that's Marv's fault for me getting on YouTube. But you know, we rocking out with it. So that's where you can find us for sure. Any questions, anything that y'all need, always reach out. The DMs are always active. We help a lot of people. We actually have a free community. So I'll get with you, Marv.
Yes, sir.
We give away more than $3,000 worth of value.
Eesh.
And here's what I'll do.
Talk to me. Talk to me. Talk to
What
me.
I'm going to do is because we
Talk.
were going to switch that to paid. We're actually switching that to a paid community real soon because the value is just crazy.
Right.
But what I'm going to do is I'm going to grant you a grandfather link. It's always going to be free. If they find us, it's always going to be free. So we're going to start off with that.
Come
The
on
next
now.
thing we're going to do, we have a 7-day challenge, right? This
Mm-hmm.
is normally a paid 7-day challenge.
Mm-hmm.
We literally walk you through the process of launching an online selling system in 7 days. This is
Eesh.
normally paid,
Come on
normally at
now.
$297.
Let's go. Be
We're
careful.
gonna give it to. We're gonna throw that in there too. We're gonna throw that in there for the people because I need people to come in and execute. So that's what I got for you.
Listen, man, I didn't even know he was coming with that, ladies and gentlemen. So you just got an hour-long masterclass on building a scalable business from the sales, marketing, and operations. And on top of that, you're getting a 7-day challenge. And on top of that, you're getting access to a community well over $3,000 worth of value. And we already set in stone. A part two is coming. This don't
Oh
make no
yeah.
sense. This don't
Oh
make no
yeah.
sense. This is criminal. But we're doing it for y'all because we love y'all and we love providing immense amounts of value. My guy Adrian, thank you so much for jumping on the Marvin Francois show. But more importantly,
My
thank you to
pleasure.
y'all that are watching at home. If you haven't already, what are you doing? Take a second, take a minute, take an hour out of your day right here, right now. If you're watching on YouTube, slap the like button. If you're listening on audio platforms, leave a review. But most importantly, make sure you tune in for any and all things business, finance, and investing on the Marvin Francois show. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, I'm your host with the most, Marvin Francois. The gentleman over there is Adrian McGee. Y'all have been good. We've been great. This has been amazing. Thank you and God bless. Peace, family.
Let's get it. Peace.